Hey folks, this is Mary. Welcome back to my channel. So we are in for another round of Swatching Sundays. And if you remember from last time, I had one sample left in that old tray, which I didn't have enough cards to get to. And I just realized I don't have any swatch cards. Hold that thought. Okay, here are some swatch cards. Now, I said last week that I only had so many swatch cards left and I was just going to swatch as many samples as I had cards for. And that was all the swatch cards I had here at my work table at that time. But this stack is the absolute end of the cards that I have made. I just made a giant stack of them and I have already used them all up. Somebody's eating these swatch cards. I think Gus is eating the swatch cards when I'm at work. So after filming today, I'm going to have to make some more swatch cards. But anyway, where was I? Yes, so this guy was left over from last week because I didn't have enough swatch cards. And I have an empty rack here. So we are going to fill up the rack with some samples and keep going. And I feel like I have more samples floating around here somewhere. I'm always finding them in the oddest places. I think I saw some on the coffee table the other day. So I will go rescue those at some point. And I don't have enough at the moment to fill this rack up. So I'm just going to fill in a couple of rows here. And we're going to swatch these, and I will run down my other ones. Let me see. Ooh. Well, I have some more guys here, but we'll save those for later. So we'll just get started with these. Alrighty. So now to reveal the mystery of our sample from last week, this poor little guy that got left out. It is Private Reserve Tropical Blue. So, I'm thinking I've had this sample for a while. There was some question about Private Reserve. I think the head of the company or somebody important in the company died, and then they didn't know if the family was going to continue with the company or if they were going to sell it or go out of business. But from what I hear, there are new owners, perhaps, and they are back in business. They're back to making ink. So I've been waiting to get some Private Reserve ink. Not that I need any more ink ever, but I hear that it is now available again. So anyway, I got this sample from Anderson Pens back when they, were still actively making ink. So, and I do have several bottles of Private Reserve. That at one time, that was one of the main brands that they had over at the Norfolk Stationery. I've got ink on my section here. So when I first started going over there, I bought quite a few bottles of, what did I say this was? Tropical Blue. So the beginning of my collection was Private Reserve and Noodlers, because that's what the Norfolk Stationery had, and because they're affordable. And I've heard a lot of bad things about Private Reserve inks, that they're, really hard on your pens and stuff like that. But I hear the same thing about Noodlers inks. And I haven't had any trouble with Noodlers inks, so I feel like I should just use my Private Reserve inks some more, because I haven't been using them that much. But they're very pretty inks. Look at that. That looks like the crystal blue waters of the Caribbean. Ooh, yes. Would I like to be there right now? Probably not, because I sunburn like crazy. Now, some of you might like to be there right now if you are in cold and nasty conditions. But if I was there, I would have to have on SPF 50 sunblock and a hat and sunglasses and be under an umbrella. So that might spoil some of the fun. I don't know. I do like the ocean. Just not the blazing sun with the ocean. Okay. Not that you all need to know about my sun issues. All right, this is, oh, another private reserve, Cadillac Green. I've heard about this one. Was it Sarah over at Fountain Pen Insanity that said she liked this one? Actually, I think more than one person has said that they like this one. And I have a bottle of spearmint, which is very nice, but my lid is cracked. And one thing I've been trying to do is to get a replacement bottle of a private reserve ink so I can put the ink in a new bottle. Which I guess is silly. I don't have to have a private reserve bottle. I can put the ink into any bottle. Meanwhile, it's probably evaporating. So it could be a completely different color at this point because I purchased it, gosh, I don't know, a year or two ago. And the lid was cracked when I got it. But I didn't return it because I hate returning things. Cadillac Green. I'm so sorry, my nose is deciding to run today. That's a very nice green. And I wonder how that compares to spearmint. Let's see. Wow, that is really dark. I don't think spearmint is quite this dark. And this is actually kind of reminding me of California teal. And I've probably mentioned before that I feel like California teal is very green and not teal. And this is looking like California teal, like very green. Alrighty. Ooh, that's pretty. All right, next up we have, oh, this is one of the inks that Sarah sent me. I swatched these in my notebook, but I haven't made swatch cards for them yet. So we're going to see some of her inks popping up here. This is Papier Plume Mardi Gras Indians Purple. Ooh. I don't know when Papier Plume came into existence, but I was in New Orleans about 10 years ago, and I keep thinking, were they there? Did I miss them? I wasn't even into fountain pens at that time. Fountain pens were not on my radar. But wow, it would be so cool to go in their store. Papier Plume. And can I fit all this on one line? Mardi Gras Indians Purple. Well, we don't have to fit it all on one line. Mardi Gras Indians Purple. Did any of you celebrate Mardi Gras this year? I was at the grocery store and they had king cakes. And if you're not familiar with what a king cake is, it's kind of like a giant cinnamon roll or a bunch of cinnamon rolls that are stuck together in sort of a ring. They're, you know, squished together into a cake. And they have green and purple and yellow icing on them. And there's usually, well, I think traditionally they had a bean, like a dried bean baked into the cake. But nowadays you get a little plastic baby, and you put the plastic baby in the cake, and then whoever finds the baby or finds the bean is the king of Mardi Gras. And I guess it depends on how you want to do it. The king for the day might get a prize, or I've also heard the king has to bring the cake the next year. Different things. People celebrate different ways. But anyway, long story short, I was at the grocery store and they had king cakes. And I said, oh, Mardi Gras is coming. I'm going to get a king cake and take it to work and share it with my coworkers. So Tuesday rolled around and I had the king cake and stuck the baby in it. Because the way it comes is the baby's in a little separate bag and then you put the baby in yourself. So I, put the cake out and sent a message to my coworkers and said, yay, whoever gets a baby wins a prize. And then I realized it was not Mardi Gras. I was a week early. It was the Tuesday before Mardi Gras. So everybody ate the cake and somebody found the baby and it was lots of fun. Good times were had by all, as they say. And the next week I got another king cake and we did it all again, and then somebody else found the baby. So that was fun. It's just part of the wackiness of working with Mary. All right, this is Pure Pens Glens of Antrim. Oh, I love these Pure Pens inks. I think I have 3 bottles of their ink so far. They have their own in-house brand of ink. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it's made by Diamine. And they're beautiful inks. Well, come on now. I'm trying not to get so much ink on the pen. Get it on the nib without getting it on the pen, which is almost impossible. But I love their inks and I would like to get some more of them. So this is Pure Pens Glens of Antrim. And one of these days I'm going to make it to the UK because it is so beautiful over there. And most of my ancestors came from that part of the world. So it would be fun to trace my genealogy across the pond. All right. Ooh, this is another lovely dark green. I don't think this one is quite as dark as Cadillac green, but it's very nice. Oh yeah, I said I was going to hold the swatches this way last time. That makes it easier to swatch. But I think so far I have Saltire, which is blue, and Celtic Sea, which is kind of a teal, and Flower of Scotland, which is purple. Lovely, lovely. But they have, gosh, I don't know, they've got like 10 or 15 inks in their in-house line now. So many more inks to explore. Oh, I just found some more samples. Okay. There's just samples everywhere. My goodness. All right. This is Rohrer and Klingner Alt Bordeaux. Oop, let me get his sticker. I was so tempted. I was looking at the Pure Pens website. This is the problem. I should not be looking at websites. However, I was looking at the the Cult Pens website, and their prices for Diamine inks are just ridiculously low. Now, I do have to pay international shipping, but you can justify some purchases if you buy enough bottles of ink. And they also had really great prices on the Rohrer and Klingner inks, which I don't think I have a single bottle of. My goodness. I'm a bad fountain pen enthusiast. Oh my goodness, this is super wet. Rohrer and Klingner. And this is Alt Bordeaux. I do enjoy a nice Bordeaux myself. Gosh, my my paper towel is so dirty. But you just fold it over. That's what people used to do with their handkerchiefs. Just blow your nose and fold it over. Let's see, Q-tip. So anyway, back to the temptation of cult pens. I was thinking about placing an order with them, but I already have 500 bottles of ink, so I just don't need to buy any more. But I want to buy some more. And I don't have any roaring cleaner. I have a couple of samples. Oh, I finally got Sulfurino in a pen. You might have noticed it if you watched my currently over-inked video. It's a lovely pink. It's very nice. And this is a lovely burgundy. Would we call that burgundy? It's beautiful. So I'm trying to talk myself out of making a purchase on the Cult Pens website. And I'm sure the Cult Pens people are like, yes, come over to our side. Peruse our website. Be tempted by all of our beautiful, inexpensive inks. Oh, so bad. Let me see. Oh, here's another Sarah one. This is Monteverde Purple Mist. I gotta give it to Monteverde. They do have quite a few purple inks. But purple is such a pretty color. You can never have enough of them, right? Let's see. So this is Monteverde Purple Mist. Very nice. Monteverde. Does that mean Green Mountain? Mont is mountain, and Verde is green, right? So Green Mountain? I understand in Australia there's a mountain range called the Blue Mountains. And here in Virginia we have the Blue Ridge Mountains. We do love to give our mountains colorful names, don't we? I don't know of any red mountains. Of course, a red mountain would probably be bad news because that would probably mean that it's erupting. Good heavens. Although when Mount St. Helens erupted, it was kind of gray and not red. I have been to Hawaii and I've seen Kilauea. And there's lots and lots of lava coming out of Kilauea, but it doesn't explode like Mount St. Helens exploded. It's a very different kind of volcano. But I have to say that the park there, the Volcanoes National Park, it looks like the pit of hell. I mean, it looks like nothing on earth. It is so alien. Okay, here is Robert Oster Turquoise. And I saw this one sitting on the table and I thought, have I already done Robert Oster Turquoise? And I was looking back through my recent sample cards and I could not find a sample card for this one, but he was sitting there all by himself and I didn't know why he wasn't in a rack. So if I have already swapped him or swatched him, please excuse me. But better 2 swatches than no swatches, right? But anyway, speaking of red mountains, it just made me think about Kilauea. And shoot, I keep talking about the company and I can never remember their name, but that Hawaiian pen company. I'll have to put it on the screen because I cannot remember their name. I only remember their beautiful, beautiful pens. But I think one of their pens is called Kilauea. And oh my goodness, those pens are so gorgeous. They're on my dream list of someday getting one. Let me see. We need a Q-tip. Oh, did I just put some ink on my face? No, maybe not. Canalea, the Canalea Pen Company. I think that's right. Although I don't know what that means. but I love their blue pen. Oddly enough, I like a blue pen. Who would have ever guessed? But it looks like ocean waves. It's so beautiful. And this ink is very nice too. Looks like some turquoise ocean water. And I know I am quite drenching the Q-tip, but he's seeming a bit wetter than some other Robert Oster inks that I've tried. Robert Oster inks do seem quite dry. Did I do another one? I thought I did another Robert Oster today. I guess not. My goodness, I am losing my mind. Okay. Ooh, let me put his card away. Good heavens. All right. This is Pure Pens, Pendine Sands. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. Pendine Sands, Pendine Sands. I guess Pendine. Pendine. Ooh, wow. It's not showing up in the light very well, but it looks like a deep orange. Let's see. Ooh, come here, little ink. Makes me very nervous to tip the sample over. Let me wipe off the section a little bit. Okay, this is Pure Pens, Pendine Sands. So that's looking kind of golden brown orangey, sort of. I wonder where that is. I know most of their inks are named after, you know, places, historical sites, and different things. So I wonder where Pendine Sands is. Oh, wow. That's very interesting. Let's try to get a little drip here. You know, it's kind of reminding me of Apache Sunset, because Apache Sunset can be very light and very dark. So I wonder if this one would be a good shader. It's hard to tell with a glass pen because they don't exactly operate the same way that a fountain pen does. But it looks like it would have some nice shading. All right, my goodness, I have a lot of ink on my fingers. But that just is part of the fun. All right, here is Robert Oster Blue Sea. We're having quite a few water-related ones today. Although I have to say, water is beautiful. It's one of those things that gives us peace and meditation and relaxation. And also life. My goodness, we'd all die without water. Okay. This is Robert. Ooh, my, I'm liking this already. And what did we say? Blue Sea? Blue Sea. What's that phrase? Between something and the deep blue sea? Is that from a song? I can't remember. Do you have little bits of things floating through your head? I do all the time. Oh, wow. That's gorgeous. I think I need to get out all of my Robert Oster sample cards and compare them. I probably shouldn't have redipped at that point. That's going to make it look weird. But get out all of my Robert Oster swatch cards and compare the inks and decide which ones, or which one, I would like to purchase, because there's just so many pretty ones. How can you choose? That sure is lovely. Also, I should probably compare it to my other blues to see if I already have an ink that looks like that. Ooh, and we have another Sarah ink. This is Diatramentis Jane Austen. I think there are a couple of different inks out there that are called Jane Austen. I think Organic Studio makes one, maybe. And I think theirs is purple, but this one looks green. I do have a couple of bottles of Organic Studio. I have nitrogen, because everybody has nitrogen. And what's the other one I have? Thoreau, Walden Pond, I think, but I don't use them very much. And I don't know why I don't use them. Probably because I have 500 other bottles of ink to use. Oh my goodness. Jane, is it Austen or Austen? Austen. Sense and Sensibility. It's one of my favorite movies. The one with Emma Thompson where she wrote the screenplay. Go Emma. Oh, that movie is so fabulous. Let's see. Oh, wow. Yes, we have another dark green. Isn't it interesting how the colors are seeming to cluster? I'm just randomly putting them in the rack, and I seem to get similar colors next to each other. It's the Fickle Finger of Fate. Oh, that is lovely. Kind of a, what would we call that? Like a forest green. It's kind of a dark smoky green, sort of. So many different pretty greens out there. All right, well, I am officially completely and totally out of swatch cards. So, but we did get in our 10 today, I think. So I tried to do at least 10 on a Sunday. So I will give these a moment to dry, and I will come back and show you what they look like. So see you in a minute. All right, so let's look at some ink. Here is the Private Reserve Tropical Blue. That is lovely. It looks like there's some shading in the writing. Can you guys see that? Yeah, I think you can see that. And there's a little touch of sheen, just a little bit, kind of around the edge, which is kind of how I like my sheen. Just a touch, just enough that you know it's there. And then here is the Private Reserve Cadillac Green. And this has a ton of red sheen. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you guys can see that. That is crazy. It's a very pretty green. So if you like a sheeny green, this one might be right up your alley. My goodness. Here is the Papier Plume Mardi Gras Indians Purple. This is a very soft, dusty purple. And the inks don't act their best on this watercolor paper. So there's something going on around the edge of the dark area. It looks like it might have some green sheen to it. There's something going on around the edges, but it's just not showing up on this paper very well. But still, a very pretty purple. And again, it looks like it has some shading to it in the writing. Here is the Pure Pens Glens of Antrim. Kind of a lovely grass green. And he has a little bit of sheen too. I think you can see that. Very nice. And here is the Rohrer and Klingner Alt Bordeaux. This really poured off the glass nib, so I think this would be a nice wet ink if you're into wet inks. And he might have a little bit of a halo going on there, but it's a nice deep burgundy color. Seriously, I have to get me some Roaring Cleaner inks. And here is Monteverde Purple Mist. A lovely soft purple. Maybe even lavender. Would we call that lavender? I wonder if this would look good in the new Kaweco lavender pen. Oh, that pen is so pretty. I don't need that pen. It is so pretty. This ink would just look fabulous in that pen. Oh, very nice. Here is the Robert Oster Turquoise. Kind of a, I wouldn't call this turquoise. I would call this more of an emerald green. It's a little bit brighter in person, but still, turquoise to me, turquoise is like teal. That's one of those debatable colors, but I don't think this has nearly enough blue in it to be turquoise. It does have some red sheen on it. You could see around the edges there. It's a very pretty color, but I don't agree with the name. And I think Robert Oster does make a jade ink. I wonder how this compares with the jade. Because I would call this jade or emerald or something along those lines. I don't know. Here is the Pure Pens Pendine Sands. For some reason I was thinking this ink was yellow, but this is definitely orange. And if you can see that shading on the writing, that is gorgeous. Again, I am not a fan of orange, but this ink is stunning. And I'm not seeing any sheen going on there, but man, that shading is beautiful. I might need to get this guy in a pen and see how he writes. Move everybody up a little bit. Scoot, scoot. All right, here is the Robert Oster Blue Sea. Oh, that is my color. That bright deep blue with some red sheen. Oh, so beautiful. Ooh, just look at that red sheen. Gorgeous. All right, let's compare him to the Tropical Blue. The Blue Sea is just a little bit deeper. They are very close, but very nice. If I had to pick, I think I would go with the Robert Oster, but that's all just a matter of taste. I think the Private Reserve has better shading, but the Robert Oster is a deeper blue. Ooh, look at that shading on the Private Reserve. Oh, that's beautiful. A little bit on the Robert Oster, but definitely more on the Private Reserve. Oh, decisions, decisions. This is why I need to have 100 different blue inks, because they're all different and they're all beautiful. And how can I pick one over another? All right, last but not least, we have our Miss Jane Austen. A lovely green. And what did we decide to call this? Is this like a smoky green? A forest green? I don't know. It's certainly different from all the other greens we have today. My goodness, I have several greens and they're all different. That's so interesting. Again, green, there's so many different shades. So I don't see any sheen on this one. And I don't see a lot of shading in the writing. But again, it's hard to tell with a glass nib. This would really be best in a pen. But it's a lovely green. All right. Well, those are our colors for today. It's so interesting. I've got 3 kind of purplies and 4 greenies and 2 blues and an orange. So quite an interesting combination today. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.